Greetings and salutations, travelers of the internet, and welcome to the Lit Round Table. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Anna, and we'll be your wise or not so wise mentors for today's audio adventure into all things storytelling. Here we are,
Yay.
Episode 10.
10.
I am so excited for this week because I get to pick your brain about the Ren Faire.
Woo!
Which I am very jealous about.
It'll be fun. It was a fun time. It was a great time, so we get to dive into all that.
Yeah. But before we do that, I do want to find out from you, what is our poll for the read-along for our Patreons?
So, for those of you who may not know, we do a read-along here at the Lit Round Table. If you're new, this is your little spiel on that. So, once we're done with the book that we're reading, we'll do a poll on our Patreon to see what book we should do next. And this week, or this time...
Actually, the poll will be up before we finish the book, so that we have time to get the book. But anyway.
Okay, yeah. The meaning is the same.
Yes.
Once we're done with this current book, we'll read a new book. And it's a book you'll get to vote on. If you're a subscriber for our Patreon, the lowest tier, the $5 tier, gets you the voting rights, and then the $10 tier gets you a bonus video each month. So here is the list of books that I have. I have them in front of me because I was too lazy to write the titles down, and I wanted to be able to say the authors' names too.
None of those are a Star Wars book that I was hoping it might be.
I'm sorry. All of them, well, two of them are kind of random, but the other three make sense. So, the first one is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang or Kuang. And
will you hold that up for me so I can see?
Yes, I will hold that up for you.
Thanks.
So that you may see.
Thank you.
The Poppy War. R.F. Kuang, a martial scholar and graduate of the Odyssey Writing Workshop. Female Asian author.
Nice.
Very cool. The next one is Hall of Smoke by H.M. Long, which may also be a female author. I might be totally wrong on that one, but had a really pretty cover, and the story seemed intriguing.
It's a beautiful cover.
Yeah.
Is that an owl?
So, Hall of... maybe. Yes, it is, actually.
Well, I think that one gets my vote then, because it has an owl on the cover.
So, Hall of Smoke by H.M. Long. That's the next one. The next one is one that we talked about during our Redemption Arc episode last time we recorded a episode for the podcast, and that's Shadow of the Conqueror by Shad M. Brooks. That's that book I was talking about.
Yeah.
So I included that on the list.
Because you have not technically started that one yet, right?
I had not, no.
Okay.
And we've got Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. It's a one-off. It's not like the first book of a series or anything yet anyway. Who knows? That guy writes 1 million books a year. But so I thought maybe that could be a cool little introduction into Brandon Sanderson for you.
Yeah.
And for the last one, if folks are so inclined and they want to hear the story continue or hear us talk about the continued story, Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch, the second book of the Gentleman Bastard series.
Okay, I mean, I really do want to read that one too, so... But all of them look good.
Yeah. So those are the 5. Those are the 5 that you'll be able to choose from when the poll goes up. So
as soon as this... when this episode is live, the poll will be available to our Patreons. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very good. So there you have it. There's the list.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm super excited to see which one we get to read next. They're all very different from what we're currently reading. So
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Which, if you haven't been listening or reading along, we've been going through The Light of the Midnight Stars by Rena Rossner. We have 2 weeks left. It has been a very interesting and fun journey, and painful, but not painful in like a badly written. It's written very well. Painful in like an emotional way.
It's a well-written tragedy.
Yes. Yes.
For sure.
But it's very good.
For sure.
Would recommend.
So I guess first we'll go over the usual stuff of what we're watching, reading, and playing, right?
Yeah, yep. So I'll let you go first since I'm leading this week.
Okay. So for what I'm watching, we're probably going to have a lot of overlap right now because so many things have come out since we recorded last. So, Kenobi, I'm all caught up. There's 3 episodes out now.
You're all caught up? Okay, you're ahead of me then because I didn't watch today's episode. Or yesterday's. So, when does it come out?
Yeah. Wednesdays.
Okay.
So, Kenobi, I'm all caught up on that. And it's been interesting to see, like, because we did a Predicting Kenobi episode on the podcast. So it's been interesting to see, like, what has kind of come true and what hasn't so far. So that's been interesting.
I'm kind of excited to do an episode where we talk about where we were right and where we were wrong. So keep that.
That could be a fun one once the series ends.
Yeah.
Once the series ends. Also, Stranger Things 4.
Part
all
1.
Caught up on that. And I am eagerly awaiting July 1st for when part 2 comes out.
Oh, is that when this... Okay, nice. So we don't have to wait a whole year.
No, just a month. So
nice.
It's going to be a long month, though. Holy cow. That was an experience.
Oh, my gosh.
And also Critical Role Calamity, which at the time of recording this is going to be a new episode tonight. So that's been fun. DM'd by Brennan Lee Mulligan, which has been a delight. Yeah, that's pretty much it for watching. I was trying to rack my brain to see if there's anything else, but that's been pretty much it. Well, to be fair, Stranger Things is like a lot of content at once.
Yes.
Because I just binged like an entire series of television in like a matter of days. So that's probably why my watch list is a little shorter this time. But for reading, I don't know if this happened at the time of our last recording, so I'm going to say it now. I did finish Shadow of the Gods. I don't remember if that was last time.
I don't think you had finished it yet.
Okay. Well, I did finish it.
Okay.
So, now that that's over, I've started Words of Radiance, which is the book 2 of the Stormlight Archive. And that has been fun, going back and diving into that world and hanging out with those characters again. It's so far a little less depressing than the first one. Some of our main characters are not in as dire of circumstances in this one. But, yeah, sorry if that's that's not really a spoiler. Light spoiler. But, anyway, that's been good. We are reading Light of the Midnight Stars for the read-along, which we mentioned. For playing, still playing Bloodborne, still playing Lego Star Wars, still playing The One Ring. Nothing has really changed in that arena. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Cool.
So what you got?
All right. So I'm going to do my reading first. I have started By the Shores of Silver Lake by Laura Ingalls Wilder as part of my book club series I'm doing with the middle schoolers. We had our first meeting last night, and that was really fun. It's interesting to see how the writing changes, because it's kind of like the Harry Potter books where like they grow up with you. Like if you go back and look at the first book in the series versus this book, the writing style has changed a fair bit to accommodate the audience, which I think is kind of cool. Because the characters are older, so the writing is older. Anyway. Man, I have not been reading a lot. Well, that's not true. I went on a trip with our parents back to our mom's hometown a couple weekends ago, and I got to do a fair bit of reading in the car for that trip. And I finished the latest volume of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. And I also read the My Hero Academia Team Up Missions Volume 2, which I've had started previously but just hadn't finished, so I got both of those done.
Is that the one we got you for Christmas or something?
No, you got me one of the Vigilantes.
Oh, okay.
And I also finished Volume 1 of The Witch Hat Atelier and have started volume 2.
Oh, did you like that one? Hope loves that one.
It's so good. It's so
She keeps telling me I need to. She keeps telling me I need to read it. So I guess I'll have to do that.
The art style is really pretty, and the storyline is very like compelling, and just it's really good. Really,
there's
good.
magic and wizards.
Yes, and portals. It's cool. It's really cool.
Wait, is it like a portal fantasy? Like
no, like they.
Oh, okay.
They do some traveling through portals. You'll see.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But anyway, I feel like I've been reading something else too, and I just am drawing a blank. So, whatever. It'll come to
next
me.
Time.
Yeah. Yeah. But for watching, we do have a lot of overlap. I also watched. I've seen the first 2 episodes of Kenobi, and now that I know the third one is out, I'm excited. I'm gonna go watch that. Also finished Stranger Things. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Wow is right. And I feel like, without giving anything away, I should have seen some, like, the big reveal at the end coming. But I didn't really see it until the end. And, like, that last episode, I was like, oh, I bet it's this. I bet it's this. But I hadn't put it together before that. So, I also have recently watched Pom Poko, which is a Studio Ghibli movie. I
haven't heard of that one.
Well, there's a reason. If we did the honor ranks Ghibli movies again, it would be at the bottom. It'd be at the very, very bottom. It is very, very strange.
Okay.
Because the story is strange and the animation is weird. They make a really bold choice. So if you don't know, Pom Poko is about like raccoons that can shapeshift into humans.
Did not know that.
And so like the animation will start with them looking like real raccoons. Like they're animated to look like a raccoon that you and I might see. And then it changes to like a cartoony version of a raccoon. And in the cartoony version, they make a point of animating certain body parts.
Tasteful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. On the
Classy.
men, on the male raccoons.
Were they well-endowed raccoons?
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to say?
This is what I'm saying. And it was very distracting, and it was a very strange choice. And yeah, it was just a very weird movie. You know what?
When I'm watching a cartoon, I don't really need the animals to be anatomically correct with the genitals.
Anyway, it was very weird. I usually I will blind buy Studio Ghibli movies because I have trusted them so far. I watched this one on HBO Max, and I will not be purchasing it. I do not need to own it. It doesn't need to be a part of my collection.
Fair. So. That's fair.
I'm sure that it has some cultural significance that I just do not understand, but it's just a very strange movie for me. So.
Yeah.
And then I also saw the new Downton Abbey movie, which was very
was that good?
Good. Yes, Mom and I went and saw it in theaters last night. It was really good.
Oh, that's good. That's
Would
fun.
recommend.
You guys got to do that.
Yeah, if you're a Downton Abbey fan, you will love the movie. If you haven't seen Downton Abbey, you will be very confused.
Yeah.
But it was good. Let's see. I finished Spy Family. Or at least as many episodes as they had out at the time. Mm-hmm. It was very cute. I am also watching the Exandria Unlimited Calamity, but I am behind. I need to cram. If I'm going to watch the new episode tonight, which maybe I'm not going to, because I haven't caught up on the other one. Life has been busy. Yeah, so that's what I've been watching.
They sometimes have recaps on their website that you can read.
Right.
I wonder if they have that for Calamity.
Yeah, but I want to experience it the way you're supposed to. Not that there's anything
That's
wrong
fair.
with using a recap. We'll see. We'll see what time it is when we finish this up, and then by the time I get supper done. Anyway.
Fair.
And then for playing, same old, just the One Ring RPG.
Yeah.
Super fun. Loving it. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, let's talk about the Ren Faire.
The Ren Faire. I'm so excited for you to tell me all about it. Okay. So, I want to hear everything. Dear listener, I have not let Joseph tell me anything about the Ren Faire, even though it happened a couple weeks ago, because I wanted it to be fresh on the pod for you, and I am so excited.
So you better appreciate.
So first, I want to hear what you went dressed up as. Can you share?
So I was just dressed up as a medieval lad. I had my tunic and my laced up shirt and my breeches, my boots. I had a belt that was like a lot of this can actually be found on like Amazon or other online stores. Just like Ren Faire accessories. Like I had these leather van braces. I had a leather pouch that attached to my belt because my pants didn't have pockets, so I had to have somewhere to put my stuff. Which was, on brand. So yeah, and there was also like a cloak that I wore for part of the day. I did eventually find a hat at the Ren Faire because that was the one thing I was missing was a hat. Nice. So yeah, it was a good time. And my wife Hope was dressed up as like an elf, probably some kind of cleric type figure. She had a potion bottle attached to her belt that she put like some glitter in. She had pointy ears. She had curly hair, curly red hair, and yeah, it was really cute. And she had her like her barmaid outfit, like the like the skirt and the vest thing, and yeah, it was really cool. And we also actually went with Hope's brother Sam and his girlfriend Sarah, which Sam, I'm sorry, he completely roasted me when I first got to the Ren Faire because they are actually listeners of the podcast, so they're probably going to be listening to this.
Oh no.
But apparently I had given Sarah like a name recognition before him without even thinking of it. But it's even worse. It's like more insult to injury because I said Hope's brother and his girlfriend Sarah.
Yeah, because you didn't name him. Oh,
I
Sam, I'm
her,
so sorry.
I'm sorry, Sam. Hey, neither one of us caught it at the time.
Okay, I'll give Sam a shout out here. So Sam has been a really great supporter and is one of the reasons why we have a Patreon now. So thank you, Sam. We appreciate you very much.
It was his idea.
It was his idea. So and yeah. I think he subscribed before our parents did. So thank you.
He was his idea and he was one of the first. So I'm so sorry for totally dropping the ball. And then he said after that, I don't want a pity shout out. Well, too bad, you get one anyway.
I didn't even know that. So anyway.
Yeah. So we were there with Sam and Sarah. And Sam was also dressed up. We had practically the same shirt and pants. You could tell that we both got them off of Amazon. He also had a belt, and he also ended up getting a cool black, like big brimmed feather cap, kind of like a Captain Barbosa. He kind of had like a Spanish, what's the word? Conquistador hat, I guess. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
Conquistador is like the metal.
Oh, hat. No, never mind.
I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. This is where you find out that I'm a little rusty on my history.
Yeah. It's not that, but it looks kind of like a Spanish style, like from
like the Three Musketeers.
Like this. Yeah. It's like a Three Musketeers hat. Thank you. That's what I was trying to get at. And that looked really cool. Sarah also had a great getup. I think she had said that she's the only one in the group that had been to a Ren Faire before, so she like already had her costume. We had to assemble ours.
Yeah.
But no, that was really fun. And honestly, like the prep work, getting ready to go to the Ren Fair was part of the fun, like picking
Yeah.
out your outfit stuff. Hope actually made my tunic part that went over my lace up shirt. She made that because none of the tunics that I was finding online were going to show up on time. So yeah, that was really cool.
Did
Yeah,
Hope also get a flower crown?
she did get a flower crown
Yeah.
to go with her outfit. Yes, which
So you all
was
got
it
headgear.
completed. Everyone but Sarah. Sarah did not get any headgear, but yeah, most of us ended up getting something to top it all off.
Cool.
So
So did you have the
yeah.
experience of getting like sort of dressed at the Ren Fair? Or because I know some people like that's part of it. People will like pull up and then in the parking lot they'll like put on their stuff that they can't wear in the car while they're driving.
So yeah, I mean, I had most of mine on because it was just like pants and a shirt. Like there were some
Right.
things that I put on when we got there, like the leather van braces and like the belt pouch. Like some of that stuff I didn't put on until we got there, but most
Yeah.
of it was already on. Like I still had the boots on,
Sure.
the boots on while we were driving over. And just so you know, dear listener, this is the Scarborough Ren Fair in Waxahachie, Texas. So,
Okay.
should you ever want to, if you're in that area, if you're in the DFW area in Texas and you want to go to a Ren Fair, check out the Scarborough Ren Fair. And there's also another Ren Fair happening in Houston in October, and it's like one of the biggest ones in the country. So,
Wait, when in October?
I don't know exactly when, actually. That'd be a great hope question.
What if it times up when people are visiting?
I don't know. I don't know.
So fun.
I don't know, dude. It would also, I know nothing about the scheduling of that one because I know the Scarborough Ren Fair was only on weekends.
Oh. Right.
I don't know if this one's the same, but it's also in Houston, which is
Oh.
another 3.5 hours
Yes.
south from us.
You said Houston
So-
and I heard Austin, which is not
No.
as far. Houston is a
No.
ways. Never mind.
Houston is a ways. We'd be like staying in a hotel in Houston that
Right.
night afterwards.
I just
But-
really want to go to a Ren Fair.
Dude, someday you will and you're going to love it.
Like
So,
I'm like half tempted to just like I don't know.
find
I don't know
one
what.
nearby and just do
Well,
it.
no, because I want to go with people that I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
cool.
yeah, that was part of the fun. And when we got there was like an opening ceremony. They shot off a cannon when they opened the place up. The crowd was actually really, really big. There's a lot of people there, more so than we were expecting from like the opening of it. But it's only open till 6, so it's way easier to do like a open to close thing at the Ren Fair.
Sure.
So, yeah. So that was really cool. And like not everyone was dressed up, but most people I would say were.
Sure.
Yeah, it was really cool to see all the different costumes. I saw someone, and also there's some people that were just kind of dressed up in a costume, like it wasn't necessarily Ren Fair themed. Like I saw a Mandalorian there. I also saw Spider-Man in a schoolgirl outfit,
Oh, that is so strange.
and I saw a Deadpool.
So people kind of treat it like a con, like a
Some people
like
do,
a
yeah,
Comic-Con convention.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There were some people dressed up as like dragon people.
Which that fits like D&D. Like if you're
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Dragonborn is a race in D&D.
Yeah, I feel like that makes more sense. Like that overlap of Ren Fair and D&D player makes more sense than like Marvel and Ren Fair, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even like if, like furries in Ren Fair overlap more than Marvel and Ren Fair too. Like if you're gonna wear your fursona to a Ren Fair, in like a Ren Faire outfit.
Almost thought I heard you wrong. I was like, surely he didn't say furry. And then you for sure did.
I did. No, I did. Because there were some.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, it's all good. It was really like, big, very diverse group of people that were there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
There were definitely some people there that were like visiting from out of the country.
Oh.
And I was just like, that's hilarious that you're visiting America and you went to a Ren Fair. That's awesome.
I mean,
because what a like
I'm kind of here for it.
eccentric group of people that you have decided to try to like
Sure.
interact
hey,
with.
Man, nerds are everywhere.
Yeah. But anyway, the first thing we did was we found some breakfast. We went and got some peasant bread, which was just this like fried piece of flatbread with basically pie filling on top.
Oh.
It was pretty good.
What kind of pie filling?
We had cherry or strawberry. Sam and Sarah had peach.
Ooh, those both sound good.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very good. The first like attraction we did though was the fire whip guy. He's like it was a stage performance. You could go sit on benches and he was cracking whips, doing all kinds of crazy stunts. And then eventually he did light them on fire and was whipping them around while they're on fire. He did like the world's heaviest whip crack, and it's like a whip that weighs like 30 pounds because it's made of like chain, like metal chain. And he managed to crack it, and that was pretty impressive. Yeah, it was really fun. And he was just a funny guy. He also played harmonica for part of it, and it was a funny. Like it would make sense in the context of the show if you saw
for sure. I was just thinking, there's been a guy that will come across on my TikTok occasionally that's like in Ren Fair like gear, and he'll be cracking whips, and I'm like, I wonder if it's the same guy. I'm sure there's more than one guy that does that, but anyway.
Yeah. So that was fun. After that, we mostly did some shopping. I was on the search for my hat, which we eventually found, and Hope got her flower crown. Sam got his hat. We did go see a monster museum, which was kind of like inspired by The Witcher a little bit. Like when you go in, they were kind of in character, the people that were working it. So they saw Hope's elf ears, and they're like, "Ooh, are you going to be okay? We might have a couple of your friends in here." Because later on they have like fairies that are pinned to the wall like insect displays.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, there was like werewolf pelts and like cyclops skeletons, and there's all kinds of funny like Easter eggs. There was a swamp ogre. There was like a picture of a swamp ogre, and it was totally Shrek.
Of course.
There was one of the exhibits was a doppelganger. It was just a mirror.
Nice.
Medusa's head, which was facing away from you, but you could see the reflection of her head in a mirror so that, you wouldn't turn to stone. One of the gremlin cages was open, like the gremlin escaped. And there were like little footprints all over the place where you could like see where the gremlin had ran off to throughout the museum. So, no, it was pretty entertaining. That was pretty fun. That was one of the things I wanted to see because I saw it on the website.
Nice. Yeah,
it was cool. After that, it was pretty much lunchtime. So I want to talk about the Pretzel Vendors.
Ooh.
Because they are so extra. Okay, so like how a baseball game is, they're like yelling, get your popcorn, get your hot dogs here, blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
That kind of vibe.
Okay.
But it's just a guy carrying around a massive stick that has other sticks branching off on the top, all filled with pretzels, and he's just parading around going, the first thing I heard him scream was, "I'm here!"
Oh my
Like
gosh.
at the top of his lungs. I have pretzels.
That's so
and
fun.
he was just like screaming at people to come buy pretzels. And they're pretty good.
Now, did he also have cheddar cheese sauce?
No, no, no way.
Well, that's a shame.
There were just pretzels hanging off of a stick. He was very mobile. Like that's all he was
Sure.
carrying, and he had like a bag for money. No, he had no cheese dispenser on his utility belt, unfortunately.
Bummer.
Yeah, but no, they're still pretty good. We got turkey legs. Sarah insisted that is something that you get at a Ren Fair. So we got turkey legs. We also got sausage on a stick. I'm convinced that one of those things may have given us some stomach issues the next day, but it's okay. It was all worth it. It was all worth it.
Right.
Nobody like got sick, but just some uncomfy stomach feelings the day after.
Yeah.
But
well, it could have been all of it combined. Just
yeah, that's
unusual
true.
foods.
So yeah, got our turkey legs. Felt very medieval, sitting on a bench, munching away at a turkey leg. And then after that, we went to see the Joust.
Ooh.
Which was entertaining. It was very much like if you've ever been to medieval times. It was very similar to that. They would have there were 3 different knights that came out, and they assigned a group in the stands to a knight, and that's like their knight that they would cheer for.
Sure.
There's one of the knights in particular is apparently TikTok famous because they are a female knight, and she has a fan base. And
Nice.
you could tell because also she was definitely the villain. She was coded to be like the villain of the Joust and like super aggressive one that was always picking fights with everyone. And she had this like deep husky voice, like, "Oh, you talk about honor, blah, blah." But like she had this like long flowing hair and like all this stuff. It was. I'm like, I can see why the internet likes you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, so we got to watch the Joust. That was very fun. Watch people knock each other off of horses. I mean, it is staged, but it's still fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather watch a staged version of that versus the real deal where they're like actually trying to murder each other. So
Actually risking their lives.
yes.
Yeah, for sure. We did see after the Joust, we were just kind of walking around trying to find the next thing we were going to do, and there's like shows happening all day, right? So you can
Sure.
just walk around and like happen upon a show that's happening. There was one where they were doing like a fire hula hoop thing, and one of they were trying to get an audience member to throw a marshmallow into the girl's mouth who was doing the hula hooping with the flaming hula hoop. And he just could not get it. And they were all getting so invested in getting this guy to throw the marshmallow
Oh no.
into her mouth. Like everybody on stage and everyone in the audience. And like the main guy that was like the announcer guy was like, he just got so into it and so like I don't know how really to describe it. Basically, it ended up with him saying, "All right, take your shirt off right now," and like him and the audience guy like both ripped off their shirts to try to throw this
Oh
marshmallow.
man, that is like my worst nightmare as someone with social anxiety, to be picked out of a crowd to do something and then not be able to do it and then have them make you do it over and over and over again until you do. Like that sounds like the
guy,
absolute worst.
Yeah, for sure. The guy was like he was also really into it.
Okay.
And like
Well,
he was
good.
also like hamming it up for sure. And
Okay, good.
so the most impressive thing though was the girl that was doing the hula hooping was like, am I supposed to take my shirt off too? But then she did. She was wearing stuff underneath. Like
okay.
nothing was exposed. Although what was underneath was definitely not Ren Faire attire, but it's,
Well, of course not.
yeah, of course not. But as she was trying to, so she is hula hooping, and she takes off her shirt, which they didn't realize until she was doing it was also attached to her mic pack.
Oh no.
So she was like struggling to get the mic pack detached, and she managed to get her shirt off, like reconfigure her mic pack, and still maintain the hula hoop of the flaming hula hoop throughout. So like that was honestly a better performance or like a better feat than like catching a marshmallow in your mouth.
Right.
You know? It was funny. It was just a really funny moment that kind of stuck in my head. We saw the Pinwheel sideshow, which the Pinwheel was like a character. It was basically like a sideshow attraction where there was like this girl that would like stick nails in her nose and swallow swords and that kind of thing. Hope it found her online and really wanted to go see that. So that was fun. We ended up topping the night off with I forget the exact verbiage. So basically, when we first came into the Ren Fair, we got stopped. We got stopped by this gentleman who, and Hope was in the restroom for this, which is heartbreaking because it was such a funny interaction. He walks up to us, and he's like decked out in like this Shakespearean like bard kind of garb, and he's just trying to sell his poetry show that's happening somewhere in the Ren Fair. He's like, I'm a poet, and it's the poetry is wildly inappropriate. So if you want to have a good time, and the best part is there's no juggling. And he's just like trying really. He was hilarious. He was just a really funny character. So we're like, okay, we're gonna have to go see that at some point, just because his like. Just the guy was very charismatic. Yeah. What can I say?
Yeah. His spiel worked.
So it was like wildly inappropriate poetry by Arthur Greenleaf Holmes is his name. So if you'd like to look that up, you can. But good Lord, be warned. I was not prepared. I don't think any of us were prepared for how inappropriate the poetry would get.
Oh.
It basically became a show of like he would ask an audience member like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being worst, what kind of poem would you like to hear next? And of course, everyone is always like 20. So it was a thing. It was a thing that I saw. So yeah, if you're interested in that kind of thing, check it out. It was really funny. It was definitely funny. But I would have been petrified if I had gone to that show, like, with our parents or my in-laws, or yeah, I would have been petrified. So keep that in mind if you look that up, to wear headphones if you listen to any of his poetry. But it was very amusing, and it was all delivered in like this Shakespearean
sure. The flourish.
What's the word? Meter?
Yeah. Iambic pentameter.
Yeah, that kind of flourish.
I may have just said that incorrect. So if you're a snobby not snobby, if you're a Shakespeare enthusiast, don't roast me.
Iambic pentameter, is that what you said?
That is what I said. Which I think is correct.
I thought that was Dr. Seuss. I have no idea. I'm just trolling you at this point. While you're looking that up, we basically after that we went on our final shopping spree.
I was correct. Shakespeare used iambic pentameter.
Sweet.
It's a type of metric line used in traditional English poetry and verse drama.
Maybe Dr. Seuss uses it too.
I don't know what Dr. Seuss... I'm not looking up Dr. Seuss because we're not talking about Dr. Seuss.
That's fine. That's a different podcast episode.
It is.
So we went on one final shopping spree. So my loot. that I acquired.
Yes.
I got my hat, which I mentioned. I now am the owner of a foam sword that looks like Andoril from Lord of the Rings. It's not like 100% movie accurate, but I don't think it can be because it's not actually like a license.
It's not a Weta Workshop thing.
It's a knockoff foam Andoril, but it's still really cool. I also got a scroll with a leather case that could attach to my belt, which was very cool. And the scroll, when you unravel it, is a map of Middle-earth, which that's probably the thing I'm most excited about. That is just so cool. And I had never thought about like finding anything like that there. But when we walked past the shop, there were scrolls of maps from all kinds of different franchises. There was an Avatar Last Airbender map. There was the Wheel of Time.
Sure.
There was just pretty much any big fantasy pop culture franchise that has a map you could get in a scroll form with like a leather case to carry it around with you. So that was so cool because the maps are like one of my favorite parts of fantasy books is seeing the maps inside. So yeah, that's probably the thing I'm most happy with. Hope got a mug, a wooden mug that also comes with a belt loop that you can attach to your belt to get beverages with while you're at the Ren Faire. And Sam also got a mug, so that was a good time. I'm not sure if Sarah picked anything up. So sorry, Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong on that, if you're listening. I don't recall. But I know there was like a big scythe at that same weapons shop where I got my sword, where they sold a big replica of a scythe from, I think it's the anime Ruby, I think is what it's from.
Okay. I'm not familiar.
She did briefly eyeball that, but then opted against because the logistics of transporting that home afterwards would have been interesting. But yeah, it was a really fun time. Loved every second of it. Can't wait to go back again.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would recommend to any fantasy fan.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So.
Did you see anyone famous?
No. Like someone dressed up as a famous person or an
like
actual famous person? No.
No? Okay.
No, ma'am. As far as I know. Unless they were dressed up, unless that was actually Pedro Pascal underneath that Mandalorian helmet.
It's just super incognito.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't believe so, though.
Okay. Just curious. I know that there are some voice actors that really like going to Ren Fairs and whatnot, so.
True.
But that would mean having to know what they look like.
Oh, speaking of dressed up as famous characters, this isn't like a famous character or anything. We did see a cosplayer who was dressed up as Imogen from Critical Role.
Oh, I love that.
That was really cute. It was a really good costume, too. They did a good job with like the purple hair and the outfit and everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. So, and there, like the different kinds of shops, there were like jewelry shops. There was like wooden, like bowls and cutting boards and utensils. There were walking sticks, and you could get like a staff with like a crystal on the end of it. If you wanted to be like a wizard.
Yeah.
They had magic wands everywhere. You could get a tarot card reading. You could get a palm reading. There were like little stands like all over the place for all kinds of stuff. So it was just they did a really good job setting the atmosphere. Yeah, it was just super fun.
So what was your number one most favoritist moment of the whole day?
Buying that scroll.
That's awesome. That makes sense.
Making that scroll become an item I possess. That was my favorite part.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you do any Christmas shopping?
No, honestly, I did not even think of that. But to be fair, you think about Christmas shopping way sooner than anyone else in our family.
I know. Do you want to know what I've done?
Are you done with your Christmas shopping? Or
No,
at least part of it?
I'm for sure done with Hope, but we all know that because that's been, well, not the listeners, but that's been a whole ordeal. But I did pick up something for our dad the other day that I'm very tickled about. I can't say what it is because he may listen to this, but
Okay.
But so I was like, oh my gosh,
Fair.
I'm doing Christmas shopping in May.
Yeah. You sure are.
I just can't help
You
myself.
psycho.
But when you see something,
Yeah, that's true.
and you know it's not something they'll get for themselves.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, I would say, yeah, I can't think of a different moment that would be higher up per se than that.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. That's what we're doing.
Nice. I love it. Super cool.
Yeah.
So you'd go again. You'll go again with me someday.
Oh yeah,
Maybe a couple times.
for sure.
Okay.
I will definitely make an effort to go to the Scarborough Ren Fair every year. It'll be an
Awesome.
annual event. And it's like multiple weekends too. So, I mean, they were open from like, I think it was like April and May, like all of those months, those 2 months, I think they were open. And they have different themes each weekend. Like the weekend we were there was the Celtic themed weekend. So there were a lot of people in kilts.
Sure.
There were bagpipes that were played
Nice.
at the opening ceremony.
Where they played well?
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, no, they were like a professional group.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Our night for the joust was the blue night, and instead of like the normal flag that they bring out, he brought out the Scottish flag because it's
Blue.
white and blue.
Yeah.
And he had this big Scottish flag behind him for the joust, so that was really cool.
That's really cool.
There's a pirate themed weekend. There was a Viking and mead weekend, or Vikings and ale, something like that. Yeah, there's all kinds of different themes and stuff. There might even be like a steampunk weekend. I don't know. So
I mean, that would make sense.
yeah, it's super cool. So
That's really cool.
yeah, man.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm excited that you got to go and that we got to talk about it on the podcast. And that I finally get to know about what you did.
Yeah. Now you've heard all the things. Now you're up to date.
Wonderful. Thank you. Awesome.
And
All
thank
right.
you, Sam and Sarah. Thank you, Sam and Sarah, for going with us.
Yes.
And thank you, Sarah, for putting up with being when you're the only person in a group that's been to a thing before, you end up becoming like the de facto tour guide.
Right.
But she was a good sport about it. So thank you for putting up with us. Yeah. So that was that.
Awesome. All right. Well, don't forget to go to our Patreon if you're a patron and vote on the next read-along book. And yeah, I feel like I had something else to say and now I don't remember what it was. So we're just going to go with that. Unless you remember what it was. Or you have any guesses on what it might have been?
Should I read the books again that are going to be on the list?
Yeah, let's do that again real quick.
So there's Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. This is reverse order from before. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Brando by Brando Sando. Shadow of the Conqueror by Shad M. Brooks. Hall of Smoke by H.M. Long. And The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Alrighty. Well, without further ado, I guess we will talk at you next time. And
go read
that's
something
the
cool.
thing we normally say.
We did it backwards.
We did. We did that.
That's all
so
right. It can be different this
we'll
time.
talk at but we flipped it both ways.
We did.
Like the one thing was supposed to go first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewind that. So I'm gonna say until next time, go buy a Ren Faire outfit.
Oh. And we'll talk at you next time.
Later, it's expensive. Be careful. Bye.
Bye.